Millions of Americans are losing their health care. Families are paying thousands more, and the economy is shrinking, all because of policies that were supposed to make America great. Watch as the facts catch up to the politicians who promised otherwise.
Well, thank you, and let me start off by thanking you, Phil, and everyone at CBO for what you do. One real bipartisan highlight, and it was done with the strong support of the chairman. My CBO Data Sharing Act was passed and signed into law. Jody was chairman, was a chief co-sponsor of that. Passed this committee, passed the House, passed the Senate, was signed into law. CBO was instrumental in working behind the scenes and in helping us draft that. So that way you would be able to better do your job on behalf of Congress and on behalf of the American people. So I thank you and your folks for work on that. And it does speak to the one of the real bipartisan accomplishments of this committee. Transitioning to something a little less bipartisan and very partisan, and that is healthcare, which I addressed, as you may recall, in my opening remarks. You guys were obviously very busy as the Republican reconciliation bill was working its way through here, and there were constant changes, including on the floor of the Senate, where things being written into. I want to remind people where we landed. Because of the Republican passed bill that was signed into law 4th of July by this president, how many Americans will lose their health care who are currently on Medicaid?
Our estimate was that the reconciliation bill will increase the number of uninsured through Medicaid by 7.8 million.
Okay, and how many who currently are on the ACA would lose it if the enhanced tax support premiums are not extended?
The expiration of the enhanced PTCs would be about another 4 million.
Yeah, and you're aware in total, when you add up all of the healthcare changes, Yale Budget Lab just late last night updated their numbers. It is approximately 15 million Americans more who be uninsured next year, as opposed to those who are currently uninsured, correct?
Yeah, that's what Yale has, and it's the combination of the Medicaid changes I just mentioned, the expiration of the enhanced premium tax credits, and then changes in the bill to the Affordable Care Act, which was another 2 million. So yeah. That's how you get together. Our number is is in the 14 million range. Yale has 15, but it's the same ballpark.
Yeah. Are you aware of any other time in American history when 14 to 15 million Americans lost their health care?
No, I'm not.
Thank you. Let me switch to tariffs. Is a tariff a tax?
A tariff is a tax on imported goods.
It is estimated, again, by Yale Budget Lab, that on average household will lose $1,700 over the course of a year due to this president's tariff policies. Does that sound in the ballpark, CBO, of any figures on that?
So we have done similar analysis for President Trump's first term, and we had something like $1,200 per family back then.
But that was based on
based on then.
Tariffs then.
The
right?
tariff rates now are higher, and we've done a lot of analysis. We're updating that now to include the tariff reductions that were just announced earlier this week. So we'll have more on that soon.
They also estimate that a 20% increase in clothing costs, an extra $6,500 added to the average cost of a new car. Do these tariffs expand the economy, or do they shrink the economy?
The tariffs raise prices for families and businesses. They reduce business investment. They reduce household spending. They lower productivity by distorting and reducing the efficiency of the U.S. economy. So over time, they will reduce the size of the U.S. economy.
Well, clearly, the American people, who are already hurting from an affordability crisis over the last few years, ever since the pandemic, things have clearly only gotten worse and more expensive rather than less expensive. Thank you, Dr. Swagel. I'll yield back.
What you just witnessed is Brendan Boyle cutting through years of political gaslighting with one simple tactic, asking the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office to state the facts on the record. And those facts are devastating for Trump and the Republicans who keep pretending their economic agenda helps working families. Because when the CBO director is forced to sit there and admit that millions will lose health care and that Trump's tariffs, yes, tariffs, which are just taxes with a red hat on, shrink the economy and drain household budgets, there's no spin left. Just reality. Let's break this down. Republicans spent years screaming about choice and freedom in healthcare, but their actual legislation? It kicks nearly 15 million people off their health coverage, the single largest mass loss of healthcare in modern American history. That's not freedom. That's economic violence. That's families terrified about what happens if their child gets sick or their spouse needs surgery. That's people drowning in medical debt because a political party decided their ideology matters more than human beings. And then there's the tariffs. Republicans love to pretend tariffs are some brilliant economic weapon that only hurts China. But economists, including at the CBO, keep saying the same thing. Tariffs are taxes on Americans. Period. They raise prices, cut household spending, and shrink the entire economy. And under Trump, the average American family ends up paying thousands more for clothes, cars, and everyday essentials, at the exact moment people are already struggling with affordability. And this is where Boyle's questioning really hits, because it exposes the game. Republicans talk about helping working people, but the actual math, the actual economic impact, tells the opposite story. Their policies take healthcare away, raise taxes through tariffs, shrink the economy, and make life harder for ordinary families. Meanwhile, corporations and billionaires come out untouched, even enriched. This is why hearings like this matter. They reveal the truth behind the slogans and the bumper stickers. They make clear that the so-called America First agenda has always been Americans pay more. And the CBO just confirmed it, again. If you're watching this on Left Lens, here's the call to action. Don't just consume this information, amplify it, share it, talk about it. Counter the misinformation machine that banks on people not understanding how these policies actually work. Because the stakes aren't abstract. They're your job, your healthcare, your cost of living. Stay informed, stay critical, and stay engaged, because they're counting on you not paying attention.